Just a quick video, because the the phone thing in the ring light didn't work, so I'm just gonna do a quick video because we haven't returned it yet. We did see the sequel to Gettin called Spit at an independent cinema in Carlton by the name of Nova, and it was actually quite good because there was a quick question and answer with David Wenham. Apparently he went around the country before the release date, which I believe was March the 6th, to do question and answers. So that was pretty cool. Very, very funny. Again, another funny courtroom scene. Probably even a little bit funnier than the first one. And heartwarming, emotional moments. So you, like, if you don't cry, I don't know what kind of person you are, but there was definitely a couple of tearful moments, but lots of laughs again. Gary Sweet was in it. He was in the first one. A lot of the same actors that were in the first one and the second one. Obviously not Sam Worthington because his story finished in the first one. And yeah, so it very, very funny. Lots of information about, like, you know, things that David Wenham did to get the production, because apparently it's very difficult to get film finance in Australia for Australian productions. So he was actually private funded by some Queensland businessmen. So that was good because apparently this script has been ready for 10 years, but they've only just managed, sorry about that, putting my hand across the camera. They only just managed to get the finance through, obviously in the last couple of years when it filmed. He actually went into London for whatever reason. Maybe he was filming something else there, I'm not sure. And he went into an op shop, and pretty much that was his costume in the movie, a pair of maternity jeans, but that looked like skinny jeans on him, and a t-shirt of sorts. One of the questions posed to him in the Q&A was, how does he run in thongs? In Australia, thongs are slip-ons, known as everywhere else, but thongs are shoes, sandals, flip-flops, whatever you want to call them. And not underwear, although we also do refer to the underwear as thongs. So again, another Australianism if you're not aware. There's actually a very, very funny scene. I think Carl Barron, or one of the Australian comedians, does actually a bit of a skit on talking to an American about thongs. It's actually very hilarious. So we asked him how he runs in thongs, and if you know what they're like to walk in. I actually don't wear them very often because Birkenstocks have kind of overtaken that department. So I don't wear thongs very often, but I would not even know how to run in a pair of thongs. And he just said when he's in character, he puts the character on, he puts his head forward and he explains why he does that. I'm not going to go into that explanation. And then he's just able to just run because he doesn't drive anywhere. He just runs everywhere, and he obviously knows all the back streets and everything. So it's actually quite entertaining and funny. There is a deaf actress in the film. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to give too much away, but I'll just, for the disability community or the deaf community, you are actually represented in this film. So that's quite heartwarming. And he also went on to explain that she has acted in a few films, but she now more focuses on working with deaf community and disability services and helping people in that particular area for whatever they might need in life. And just one other thing to talk about, one of the things that I don't do personally, and it's not because it's against law, it's actually because I don't want to do it, because it's easy enough to do these days. You've got all the technology to download films, before they come to cinema or as they're in cinema. You don't have to even have Netflix generally to watch a new movie. However, what you're doing when you do that is it's not the actors. We're not talking about the actors getting paid. We're talking about the costume designers, the grip people, the prop department, all of those back people that don't get paid what the actors get paid. So, for example, the wig, and David Wenham is open about this. He's like, I wear wigs for every movie. He actually says the directors hate it, but he wears a wig in pretty much almost all of his movies. So if you've seen him apparently he was in 300 as well, which I didn't know, it'll be a wig. Lord of the Rings was a wig. Like, so, you know, any of those big films that he's been in, he's been a wig. So the wig that he got done in Gettin Square, and then the sequel in Spit, the one in Spit took 80 hours, 80 hours to complete. Manually, hand done by someone that he's worked with a lot in his costume design and like primarily his wig. But you wouldn't know, because one of the actors said to him when he put it on, he's like, people are either gonna think that you're going bald, and they're not gonna believe that when you have your real hair again, it's actually your real hair. They're gonna think that your real hair is actually a wig. So when he popped in and it was actually his real hair, you know, the blonde with the middle part, it was like, oh wow, like, you know, wow. He obviously looked like himself again and not the character, and that's how good this wig is. If I saw it down the street, I would have actually thought that was that person's hair. So it was absolutely amazing. There's a couple of really, really good subjects. And he gives English lessons. Now, the reason I'm laughing is because I've said it before. We speak Australian and we have a sound. Yes, our version of English is from the UK English, not American English. But we still have our own way of saying and doing things. And you really do need an Australian translator, even if you're going to watch the second one, especially the start of the second one, because he's trying to teach English to people. But it's the way that he does his names. For example, we have Trevor here, but we spell it Trevor. But we also, as Australians, have a tendency to shorten names or to add Z's where there's no Z. So, for example, Terry or Terrence could be a Tezza. Sharon could be a Shazza. Barry is generally a Bazza. It's a very Australian thing to add a Z. But not all names can do it, but if the names can't have a Z in it, we'll just shorten it. Felicia to a Flea. Just whatever we can do to kind of reduce the amount of syllables on something, we will do it. And in this movie, it's a term that I haven't actually heard for a long time. He's talking about his head, and I knew what he was talking about as soon as he said it, but it's something that I don't use, and it's very kind of ochre, really, really Australian. He uses the word scone, and scone is obviously also a food. So it's like when he was talking about using their scone, they had no idea what he was talking about. So it's quite funny because, you know, it gets lost in translation, but it makes for very, very fun and entertaining. I mean, he ends up pointing to his head and saying, you know, so then they kind of get it. But it's just, you know, and then he goes into, they ask him what the F word means, and that it doesn't even go for like 2 minutes, but it's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because he gives it all the, you know, F yeah when you're happy, or F you when you're angry, and the very, very different ways that, you know, the F word is used, you know, probably in everywhere, but like more in Australia, and like the different kind of creativeness that you can have with the F word. And it's just, it's very, very, it's very entertaining. So if you haven't gotten around to go watch it, I do encourage you to go watch it. It is hilarious. Gives you a good laugh. Again, you'll be crying with tears. If you're not, then yeah, obviously we have a different sense of humor. Just thinking about it, you can tell that I'm laughing about it. You know, be very happy to see it again. It's not going to be on any streaming service for a while, he said, because he does really want people to, you know, respect the ones in the back of the scenes. And the fact that he's promoting it tells my husband he's either not getting much money, or he's put his wage on hold and maybe get something in the profits if it makes a profit. So yeah, so go see it. Go find a cinema that it's in. I believe it might be in Reading cinemas for those in the southeast of Melbourne, and I believe it's in regional cinemas as well, because he went out to some regional areas to do Q&As. So find it, go have a laugh, and yeah, and just enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, if you're an overseas person living in Australia, take an Australian mate, because you might need a translator. The next video I'll try and do another one next week, will probably be on my most latest health information and how it's actually impacted me. So hopefully I will try and do these videos, as I said, a bit more regularly. And yeah, thank you for your support, your likes, your follows, and yeah, if you want to have a laugh, go see Spit. Bye, thanks.